Okay, so after you've done the warm-up, you now should be looking at filling this in. So we're starting with area and perimeter, and we're going to begin with triangles and rectangles. Those have the easiest formulas that we're going to be talking about. So for just a definition of perimeter, it's going to be the sum of the side lengths. Okay, so we're adding here, versus the area is going to be the number of square units to cover a figure, right? And this one's going to be multiply. So starting with a triangle, you have the formula A equals 1/2 base times height. Okay. Now if I start with a right triangle, here, so I'm talking about a triangle, a right triangle, I'm going to have a base and a height over on the side. Okay, don't use the hypotenuse, or not hypotenuse. When we have just any other triangle, we will need to use the height as down the middle. Down the middle, and the base will be on the bottom. Down the middle, the base will be on the bottom here, and then the height will be inside the triangle. So height is perpendicular to the base. That's always going to be true, so you want to be looking for that as you are looking for the height of the triangle. And if I scroll back up, I'm looking at my rectangular, or my square. I've got area equals base times height, area equals length times width. Okay, so in a rectangle, we've got two sides, and we've got all right angles. We've got a base and a height, or this would be your width, this would be your length, or whatever may have you. When I look at a square, I've got all sides the same, and I've got a right angle. I can call these just sides, which means the area formula can be a squared. Something to remember for both of these formulas is that these formulas, including the perimeter, are going to be on your pink sheet. It's just how you use them. So you want to be able to apply and use them, but these formulas will be given to you. So these pictures should help with that as well. If you turn over, you'll see that there's some examples. So starting with the first example on the back, you see we have a triangle. So we're talking about area equals 1/2 base times height. I see I have my base here, and then I have my height off to the side, but I don't have my value for my base, which I need for my perimeter as well, which will be the addition of all the side lengths. So if I'm missing my base, what am I going to do? And the answer to this is that when I have a right triangle, I can use the Pythagorean theorem, which says that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. In this case here, I have a side length A, I have a side length B, and I have a side length C. So to plug those in, I've got 12 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared, which gives me 144 plus b squared equals 400. So b squared equals 256. I take the square root. I only want the positive. So I've got b equals 16. Now I should be able to plug in for my area and perimeter. A equals 1/2 16 times 12, which gives me 96 meters squared. And my perimeter, if I'm adding all the sides, I've got 12 plus 16 plus 20, which gives me 48 meters. Notice my units. I've got square units here, and I've just got units when I'm adding. Okay, so make sure that you are aware of the different types of units. And one more example for this, I've got a rectangle. I should know that my opposite sides are congruent, so this one's 5.1 meters, and this one is 6 meters. So I've got my two side lengths here. I know my opposite ones are congruent. Bother. Oops. 5.1 meters for this. So my area is going to be base times height or length times width, either one. And my perimeter is going to be all the sides added together. And you might see this as 2 times the base plus 2 times the height, or 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, or even 2 times the length plus the width. Okay, either one of those or any of those might be seen on your pink sheet. I go that far for here, which means that my area is going to be 5.1 times 6, which is going to give me 30.6 meters squared. And my area, if I use this one, 2 times 5.1 plus 6, which is going to be 22.2 meters. Okay, so there's 2 examples for you. You've got some classwork to do as well.